Hello, I'm Shelley Monahan.
And I'm Veronica Breen. Please join us for Career Paths, the new show that explores the changing face of work.
That's Career Paths on Cable 9, your community channel.
Here's a chance for Convery, turning it back the other way. Brandon Convery lets it go.
Another hockey season is here, and of course the St. John's Maple Leafs are back on the ice down at the arena and taking aim at a championship, possibly. To find out how the Maple Leafs are doing the entire season, there is no better place than the AHL tonight, as well as regular season coverage and all playoff action right here. You know that if it happens in your city, you'll find it on Channel 9.
You're watching Cable 9, your community channel.
And I've seen that. Ugh, I don't want to watch that. Okay, wait a minute. Cable 9 has something interesting here. Inplay. Hey, let's check it out. Whoa!
Inplay is going wall climbing today, and in order to do that, we have to go to Wallnuts. And we have with us the owner of Wallnuts, Inge van Ulden. Hi, Inge.
Hi.
Inge, maybe you'd like to tell us when you opened first.
We opened 4 weeks ago on July the 26th.
I see. And how's business going?
Business is going really well. We've had lots of response, and we've been really busy.
Okay, maybe for our viewers, you'd like to tell us how we find you.
We're located in the Crosstown Warehouse on the corner of Columbus Drive and Old Pennywell Road.
Okay, what is wall climbing?
Wall climbing is a form of climbing which is done indoors. It's a sport climbing. Originally started for training for people who like to go outdoor climbing, but since about a year or 2 or 3, I guess, probably 3 years ago, it started as a sport on its own. Some people that go inside climbing, indoor climbing, never go outside. They just use this as their main form of exercise, yes.
Okay, yeah. And do you have to be a certain age to do this, or is it?
No, people of all ages can climb. People of, even if they've never climbed before, they can come in and try it out, and if they want to really pursue it, they can take lessons and become climbers.
Okay, so you teach here as well?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and what are the costs involved in coming here?
Well, first of all, anybody that comes here has to sign a waiver. This is a major thing, so there's a lot of kids coming in under the age of 19 that haven't got a waiver in place signed by their parents.
Okay.
We need to have that done first. Once that's done, there's a certification they have to go through, which is at a cost of $10.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's a one-time thing.
Okay.
They get a card then that they have passed this test. And then the drop-in fee is $6 and rent all the equipment for $5. So the first time it's $21 plus tax.
Okay, and after that?
$11.
Okay, can I have a membership then? Could
yes,
I buy...
if you wanted to come in more than, say, once a week, it would be really beneficial to you to buy membership.
And how much are they?
3-month membership for an adult is $85.
Okay, is it possible for us to buy group memberships?
I have been thinking about doing that, but I haven't really set any prices for it as yet. But I have a family membership. So a family could climb for 3 months for $125. That would be the entry fee.
That's a good price.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Okay, I think we'll talk to some of your instructors now. Maybe they'll explain to us a little bit about climbing. Okay, we're in the gym now. We're going to talk to Phil Van Ulden. And Phil, you're an instructor here?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Okay, and what does that mean?
That means that we require all instructors to have 3 years of climbing experience, and the methods we teach are the methods that are set out by climbers all around the world.
Okay, so you're going to teach me how to climb?
Yes, I am.
How long is this going to take?
From 15 minutes to half an hour.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's it. Basically, what we teach are the basics of the safety aspects of climbing. We don't actually go into like climbing lessons. They're typically saved for. It's a separate thing from the safety certification that we do.
Okay, so involved in the safety certification is what?
We show you how to put on your equipment properly, how to tie in, and proper methods of belaying.
Belaying, what is belaying?
Belaying is the process by which you have the guy who's taking in the rope, that is called the belayer, while as the other person tied in on the other side will be the climber who's climbing up the wall, and then the belayer will take in the rope as the climber goes up.
Okay, and what's the difference between wall climbing and rappelling?
Rappelling would be where you're anchored at top and you rappel down when you're trying to get down to something. Climbing is kind of the opposite, when you have to get up and you start from the bottom and head on up.
Okay, Phil, well, maybe we'll take a look at some of the equipment now,
Sure.
eh?
Yep.
Okay, Phil, you're holding the climbing shoes. Maybe you'd like to describe them to us.
Okay, the climbing shoes are built to be tight-fitting around everyone's feet when they come in. Typically, you wear anywhere from 2 to 3 sizes smaller than your typical shoe size.
Does that hurt?
Sometimes it does, especially when shoes are new. It tends to, but that's one of the...
That's the price you pay.
Yeah, it's the price you pay, exactly, yeah. The rubber on the bottom of the shoes and all the way around the edges is very soft, so it allows for easier traction on some of the footholds.
Okay. All right, so is the shoe flexible?
Yes, very flexible. Yeah, hardly any flex at all, or sorry, the sole is very thin almost and allows for lots of flexibility.
Okay, so your foot can actually wrap around the footholes.
Exactly, yes, yeah.
Okay, and are they tied tightly?
Yes, very tightly. They're meant to be very form-fitting, so as to almost like wearing a sock, almost, I guess, except you have the rubber on the bottom.
Okay, and Wallnuts provides these shoes at
Yes, we rent them. Actually, we rent all the equipment for a price of $5.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And that's for a full day.
Okay.
So if it's just the shoes, then it's just $3.
Okay.
$3.
Now, you've handed me a harness.
Yep.
Maybe you'd like to explain that?
Okay, our harnesses. We rent these as well. We have varying sizes, but most of them are adjustable. Okay. Basically, what this allows you to do is to tie yourself in, so as if you do take a fall when you're climbing, then you'll be suspended by the harness.
All right, so it's got it locks in your legs and waist, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, and what is in this?
Okay, these are our chalk bags, is what they're called.
Right.
Basically, when you're climbing, your hands tend to get very sweaty.
Okay.
And so
Is that nervousness?
Yeah, it's a combination of nervousness and I guess
physical exertion.
Physical
sure.
exertion, yeah. Basically, inside we have what are called chalk balls. Okay.
Right.
It's a mesh ball with chalk inside of it. Basically, what you do is you squeeze the ball so you coat your fingers in the chalk.
Okay, is this the same thing that the pitchers use in baseball?
I don't really know.
Okay.
but similar to, I guess, every type of sport.
Because you see them squeezing the bag, yeah.
Gymnastics and uses chalk and whatever.
Okay. Very good.
And that's it.
We're going to meet another of the instructors here at Wallnuts, Sue Sinclair. Thanks for speaking with us.
No trouble.
Okay, Sue, we were talking to Phil earlier, and he mentioned that women are better climbers. Is that true?
Well, some people like to think it is. I do. Yeah, actually, women have an easy time of it because they've got better flexibility generally. The balance is generally better. And surprisingly, it's not a sport where you have to be muscular, you know? If you're agile, that works for you.
Now, do you find this a challenge?
Oh, definitely. It depends, of course, what climb you're doing. Some are easier than others. But certainly, I've built up a lot of strength, a lot of flexibility.
Okay. And is there an age group involved in this? Do you see certain specific age groups being attracted to this, or is it...
Actually, the nice thing is that there is a large age range. We get very young children. We get parents coming in with their children, and then they get hooked. So it's pretty much a sport for everybody, I think.
Yeah. And how about you? What do you think of this?
I like it.
How long have you been climbing?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No. She's been at a camp with us for about 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And Chelsea's doing really well.
What kind of camp?
We've had a kids camp on. The children come in, we do warm-up, a few games with them. Then we get them climbing, we do some games around climbing, and we do cool down with them.
Okay. Would you like to explain some of the walls to me, Sue? I noticed the different shapes of them, and there must be obviously challenges involved here, so maybe you could explain that to us.
Right. Well, this is a vertical wall. This is the one you come to after you do the positive incline, which is like walking up a very steep hill.
Okay.
Okay, so it starts to get a little bit harder here. You have to balance a little bit more carefully. And once you start on this overhang here, this comes out, I believe it's 2 or 3 feet, and your arms start having to take a lot more of your body's weight, so it gets a little bit harder. Over here we've got the ceiling. That's a challenge. It's another one where people think that it's a lot of arm strength involved, and there is a certain amount of it.
Certainly looks like it.
But it's also your feet. If you get your feet up and they can support a lot of your weight, you find it a lot easier.
Okay.
Then we have another overhang here, and this one comes out 6 feet, so your arms are taking even more weight. You've got gravity really working against you now. And that's a tough one.
Yeah. Now, some of your climbers here were telling us that you can move the grips around.
Right. Everywhere where there's a hole drilled, we can take the bolt out of these holes and drill them back in. So we can change them around. We do that about every 3 weeks.
All right. So that you're constantly facing a different challenge rather than facing the same wall all the time.
Yep.
All right. You did it! So you shouldn't get bored here.
Well, I certainly don't.
And is this encouragement, does it always happen?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
That's actually a nice thing about climbing. You find the community generally is very supportive. Competitive, but it's a friendly kind of competition. Everybody's very glad when somebody does a new move. So.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, thanks for speaking with us.
No trouble.
All right. Okay, Phil, what next?
Okay, well, first item on the list is how to put on your climbing harness.
All right.
Okay, first of all, we will show you how to actually get it on, which is the most difficult part. Harnesses are sometimes a bit difficult to put on,
all right,
as you may already know. Okay, second of all, when we do our buckles, okay, the buckles go on normally, like you would a normal buckle, and then to prevent slippage, we double back through our buckle.
Okay.
Like this. And tight.
Sure.
Okay? And we do that with all our buckles. There's one on each of the leg loops as well.
Right.
So that's it.
So that's it?
Yep. Okay. Ready?
Well, I don't know if I'm ready or not. That's up for you to decide. What are you wearing on the side of your harness?
Okay, on the side, this is what's called a carabiner.
Right.
Okay, specifically it's called a locking pair carabiner.
A locking?
Pair.
Pair.
Because it looks like a pear.
Sure.
Okay. Basically, you can tell that the gate of the carabiner is open when you can see the red.
Okay.
And the gate is closed when you just lock it like that. And the gate can't open, so it's now locked.
Gotcha.
Okay. So this we use in belaying, and I'll go over that in a minute.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Next. Okay, climbing is basically based on a buddy system, whereas you have one person, the climber, who's tied in on one end, while as the other person is tied in on the other end, who takes in the rope, okay, and that person is called the belayer.
All right.
Okay, first of all, we'll go over the climber part. Okay, the climber ties in with what we call a figure 8 follow-through knot.
Right.
Okay, basically what it is, the knot gets doubled up. Okay, when you put it in, it goes through the bottom loop on the harness, up through the top loop, and then we just follow the knot and double it up.
All right, Phil, so you've got me tied up here.
Yep.
And now we're going to learn how to do what?
How to anchor in when you're belaying.
All right, so what's that in your hand?
Okay, this is a gree-gree, okay? It's built by a climbing company called Petzl, who are one of the main manufacturers of climbing equipment in North America here.
All right.
Okay.
And what's it designed to do?
Basically what it allows us to take in the rope as the climber goes up, and like this.
Right.
Okay. If the climber should take a fall, then it puts tension on this end of the rope, pulls up, and then it's built such a way that it'll lock. And it'll lock the rope in place to prevent any fall.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So,
and you have an anchor system as well, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We have, right here, we have our floor anchors.
Okay.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
First of all, we take our locking carabiner. This clips into our harness. And then we clip into our floor anchors.
All right.
So that if our climber happens to be heavier than our belayer, then the belayer won't be going anywhere. Okay?
Gotcha.
All right. Then we clip in with our gree-gree, like this. Lock, close the beaner. And then we just orient it like that. And we're ready to go.
Okay, Phil, now, there's a series of commands?
Commands. Well, before we go over the commands, we're going to go over belaying technique.
All right.
Okay, there's a right and a wrong way to pull in the rope as the climber goes up. Basically what we want to do, we want to make sure that our right hand never leaves this end of the rope, okay? This is our brake hand.
Brake hand.
Brake hand, okay? Now, typically, the gree-gree always locks anyway, so there's not really any necessity of a brake hand, but we teach our safety certification in such a way that if someone is using a belay device that isn't a gree-gree, that they'll know how to do it properly, okay? So, right hand is the brake hand, never leaves the rope. So, we pull in, slide our left hand up, pinch from the top, because if we pinch from the bottom, then we have to release our brake hand and put it back there. So we pinch from the top, slide our right hand back down, and let go of the slide.
So you never lose contact with the rope.
Exactly, yeah. So we'll go over that one time again. Pull in, slide left hand up, pinch from the top, slide right hand down, let go. Easy as that.
All right, Phil, now there are some commands that I have to know as well?
Basically what we want is we want the climber and the belayer to be in constant communication with each other so that they know what each of them are doing, okay? So when we start climbing, when the climber is ready to go, he's all tied in and the belayer's all ready to go. Basically, the climber lets the belayer know that he's ready to go.
Right.
To do that, he says, on belay.
On belay.
On belay.
Which means that you're prepared.
Well, he's asking the belayer to prepare. So
all right.
He's kind of asking the belayer to say, okay, on belay, just making sure the belayer is ready. When the belayer is then ready, then the belayer proceeds to say, okay, belay is on, you can climb when you're ready. Okay? Then the climber says, climbing, and he starts. And the belayer, after that, says, okay, climb on. So there's a lot of commands, but they're necessary for maximum safety. Okay, we're almost ready to go. Just chalking up your hands there. Okay, before any ascent is made, we make it a rule that we do a harness check.
All right.
Basically what that does, the belayer checks the climber's harness to make sure his knot is good and all his buckles are doubled back through. One there, and your waist one. Right. And then the climber checks the belayer's harness to make sure that my carabiner is locked and that I'm in correctly and that all my buckles are doubled back as well. And we're set. Okay?
Okay.
So are we ready to go?
Ready to go.
Okay, so belay is on. Climb when ready.
Ready for climbing?
Exactly, good. Climb on. So basically what you want to do is try to keep the weight on your legs instead of pulling up with your arms. Because a lot of people think you require a lot of arm strength with this, which is true. However, using your legs as much as possible reduces the amount of strain on your arms. Good, great, perfect. That's it. All right, okay. Okay, can I get you to lean back in your harness? It's okay, good. Okay, and feet flat against the wall, and I'm going to start to let you down now. Ready? Here we go, coming down.
Coming down.
There we go.
Off belay.
Good.
So, if you're looking for something just a little different to do and something that's really enjoyable, come to Wallnuts and try wall climbing. It's a great way to spend your day.
Got no Pepsi, and they're going to a commercial break.
Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And up.
At Participaction, we know there are thousands of ways to enjoy physical activity. For these dancers, the fun of active living builds strong friendships.
There's nothing that feels nicer than using your body. For us, dance is the way we've chosen to express our physicality.
It's fun to come to the studio and I get to see my friends and to work on the piece.
You can work your tail off, and it's fun. It doesn't mean it's easy.
Challenging or easy, Participaction knows that any regular physical activity contributes to overall health, and it's never too late to start.
And you're willing to work with where you are and what you've got. Then you start to make those little gains, and it becomes exciting.
A lot of people can still dance the same way they could when they were kids.
Participaction, the movement for active, healthy living.
Yeah! Haven't missed it. Let's go, baby!
Hi, James.
Hi, Dale.
Back again?
Yes, here we are.
Okay, what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about sweets and fats.
Ooh, I like sweets.
No, so do I. You can like them all you want, but you got to stay away from them.
Okay, well, let's go. What are we going to look at?
All right, sweets. These are high sources of energy. The sugar in there is very easily available to the body, but unlike fruits, it doesn't have any of the other nutrients that go along with unprocessed foods.
Okay.
And I would refrain from eating too much sweets because they are very likely to cause cavities.
All right.
For sure.
Yeah.
And as I say, they also give you energy without any of the other nutrients. So it's an indulgence.
Okay. Now, what about drinks?
Drinks are also a sweet, essentially. So you've got to show moderation with them.
Mm-hmm.
And even the diet drinks are things that because it's a diet drink doesn't mean that you can have as much as you want any old time you want. You still got to restrict that because there are some concerns about the artificial sweeteners that are used in diet drinks today.
All right.
So you want to keep that to reasonable intake as well.
And what about colas themselves? You and I have talked in the past about the use of caffeine.
That's right. Well, caffeine you find in chocolate. You also find it in colas. And caffeine in colas and chocolate is a concern for children because 2 cola drinks will give a child as much caffeine in their body as you or I taking 8 cups of coffee.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot. And for kids, it's known that caffeine can lead to restlessness, irritability, and that's why too much colas for kids is to be avoided.
Okay. Now, we were looking at these.
We were.
Granola bars.
And I bet you think that that's you can eat all the granola bars you want and you're getting bread and cereals.
That's exactly what I think,
That's right. Well, the thing about granola bars is they're processed. They have a lot of added sugar.
Right.
And so again, these are things that you should eat in moderation.
Okay.
Chips and cheesies.
Chips and cheesies, and what do you have to say about that?
I say that they're very tasty, and they're also got a high amount of fat in them.
Okay.
The potato itself is a wonderful vegetable, a good source of vitamin C. However, when you cut that potato up and you drop it in oil and fry it, the potato soaks up that oil, and so consequently chips have a tremendous amount of fat in them. And that is a concern for adults particularly. Kids can handle it more because they have such high energy requirements and they're always on the move.
Right.
So they tend to burn the fat off. However, we don't.
Okay. So it's back to the same story all the time. Eat things in moderation and stay away from unnecessary fats.
That's correct. You can get alternatives to high-fat chips. You can get chips that are baked. They have less fat in them. You can get pretzels that have less fat in them than regular chips.
Okay.
And as you always say, read the label.
Read the label. Read the label. Okay. Thanks, Jay. See you next week.
See you next week.
Okay. Not today. You got to stay behind today. Hi. I have to leave the dog behind, but I hope you won't stay behind because we're going for a bike ride. Come on along and enjoy the show. Well, now that you guys are back, as you can see, we're just starting to move out of the city. It's turning into a great day. Biking itself is really simple. You've all done it as kids. The rules haven't changed any. Stay to the right of the road. Allow room for traffic. Wear something they can see. Always wear a helmet. And most of all, just enjoy your day. You know, what I like about getting outside of the city is that the traffic lightens up. And I like to come off the main drags and have a look at some of the scenery. Hi! Bikers everywhere you go. And they come in all ages. And you don't have to be, 16 to have a bike, or 60 for that matter. If you're at home now, wonder what you can do? Get a bike. And as you can see, it doesn't have to be an expensive one either. I bought this from my daughter's boyfriend for 60 bucks. And it works just fine. It gets me all over the neighborhood. I can come outside of the city. The bike is safe. All my gears work. The brakes are in good shape. As Earl was telling you, or as Harold was telling you, it's only a matter of regular maintenance. So here we are, we're out on Marine Drive, we're going down towards the ocean, and it's turning into a gorgeous day. things you want to remember when you're on a bike is that you are a vehicle. And like all vehicles, you have to obey the rules of the road. And let's face it, cars are much bigger than we are and much more capable of hurting us than we are of them. So stay to the side of the road. Wear a helmet. And signal your intentions if you're going to slow or turn or whatever it is you have planned to do. Look in advance, plan in advance. And always check your shoulder to make sure the traffic is giving you enough room. If things get a little tight, pull over to the side. And remember the speed that you're going. Bikes are incredibly fast. It's nothing to average 25, 30K an hour during a run. So, be careful and enjoy the view. And we're taking advantage of a good day. As long as the bike, as Earl was telling us earlier, brakes are good, gears are good, then we're okay. So, get a bike, get your family, go by yourself if you have a nice day. Enjoy the workout, enjoy the cardiovascular work, shape your legs. It's a good time.
With Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod.
Eating in restaurants, especially several times a week, may mean you're eating higher fat foods more often.
And you might think that selecting lower fat foods is a challenge, but it's simple. Here are a few tips.
When ordering meats and fish entrees, look for foods that are grilled, baked, and broiled. Sautéed, fried, and crispy often means foods that are higher in fat. Vegetables are good choices if steamed or boiled. And foods made with cream sauces may be higher in fat and should be eaten occasionally. It's also a good idea